Alright, my homies. We going in. Fnatic. I've heavily criticized Fnatic for various reasons, mostly because they don't play around or through mid lane. They don't play around mid lane, they don't play through mid lane. They did it once in a game in their best of 5 when Vladimir started without a flash. Then they played through mid and did it very well. But I think Caps is a player that if you play around him, it's possible. You know, you can get river control through mids, and you can do things like this. You know, you can play through mids and create situation for yourselves where it's actually positive to do so. We will see if they change. Gigabyte Marines, on the other hand, you know, they've always played their own type of meta. Optimus with his assassin picks, you know, have been completely bonkers as of late, you know, or not as of late, but at least the last time I saw him. And Gigabyte Marines is always a team that is very exciting to watch. They're the ones playing they're playing the Nocturne. I'm just gonna fast forward here for the draft to be finished. Right. So I'm not expecting Khazad to be picked. I don't think it's the last pick. We will see that eventually. I don't want to look for the situation where it is picked. So we see another Karma pick. Varus Karma as a bot lane is very, very powerful, right? It's strong in the early game, and then, you know, I think the weakness of Karma is when she plays against something that is very strong at level 6. But in this case, you know, Varus Karma together against Lulu Tristana is going to be like a lane matchup that is going to be consistently in favor of Fnatic. So that is like one thing that is a strength, right? Fnatic like to play these winning bot lanes, so this is definitely in their favor. I think after they lost that game against Varus, they started picking it up again. The main thing is, though, that Varus is not like the main carry threat into the later parts of the game. Sure, he has a powerful ultimate, but whenever Fnatic have played something like Ashe, it hasn't been that successful for them because Reckless needs to take a bigger role in his team. We also see the blind Ryze pickup. We've seen this a couple of times, and I think Ryze as a champion definitely has a place in the current meta. I mentioned it in, I predicted it, you know, in my Daily Mail interview. And I think Ryze, these champions like Syndra and Orianna are hard for him in the early stages, but then if he gets past that, no issue, then he's a very solid champion, has a very powerful ultimate that has endless possibilities. You know, I don't think any team has necessarily figured out how to play perfectly with the ultimate, and I think like Unicorns have loved it very well. They are pretty good at figuring things like that out, but I think Ryze's ultimate is a very interesting spell that can be used for so many good things. On the other hand side, we see a Galio blind pick. It's a champion that can go both mid and top right. And currently in the current scheme of things, with the champions that are being played all across the board, I think Galio will be fine in most top lane matchups, especially when Jarvan is out. You know, I was hoping that we would see more carry top laners, but that hasn't seemed to be the case. We've seen a lot of Cho'Gatts and Maokais, and Galio fits there fine. And in mid lane, he's not going to have that hard of a time, but at least Ryze as a champion is something that is good into Ryze. Ryze is good into Galio, is what I'm trying to say. Okay, I just need to take a check if my tea is warm. It's burning hot. My mouth is on fire. Alright. We see a Nocturne pickup. Now that is crazy. Like Nocturne, like Levi, you know, when Levi is picking a champion, I have faith in him. He did a wonderful job on playing Kha'Zix, and I think Levi is a person that could punish Broxah and his kind of passive kind of gameplay. I think Broxah is such a hard pickle to figure out for me, because I think sometimes he plays very, very well, and sometimes he just takes a step back and just farms it out and doesn't really apply pressure on the map. And then he always does this thing where he, I don't know what to do, I'm just going to go through bottom and go through the bottom lane. And maybe this is like a communication thing with mid lane, maybe Caps is not demanding enough attention, but the thing is, the history of Caps when he came into the scene, he was very good at doing this. This was a strength of his, and that's why it's so confusing for me sometimes that Fnatic failed to play through mid lane. And hopefully this is something that I've changed coming into this game. Other thing is, you know, Elise, very powerful. Bot lane ganks are very powerful here. Karma, Varus, Elise together, it's going to be a powerhouse. Usually playing through top lane is not that attractive. You know, sure, in the early game it works because you can actually kill people, but later stages of games is very, like later stage, I'm talking like post level 6, is very unattractive because it's hard to kill those top laners, and I'm expecting a lot of action to come through mid lane. Let's just see what the last pick here is for Gigabyte Marines. They pick Kassadin. So I feel like Kassadin here, he counted himself. He counted himself because, man, I'm so shocked. Kassadin, like Ryze is a counter to Kassadin, I would say. The root is very powerful, you can root him very hard, and then you play against Ryze Elise. Playing against Ryze Elise is a very hard thing. But then again, you know, Fnatic have a history of not playing through mid very well. The game they lost against Young Generation, I will never forget this one. You know, there was a Kassadin in mid lane that didn't get punished and was just playing his own game. So this time around, I want to see a lot of action through mid lane, and then I want to see action around bot lane. I want to see that, make sure that top lane is an island, and the way Gigabyte Marines create kind of pressure in this game is that they need to create things with the Galio ultimate. They need to reach level 6 on Kassadin. They need to create things with Nocturne Galio as a combination, and I feel like it's a bit too gimmicky for me. I think that consistently, I feel like Fnatic can pull off a stronger early game here, and the question is then Gigabyte Marines, they hit some very important spikes at around 25 minutes post that point where Kassadin starts to have some big items, and Tristana starts to have some big items, and that is the goal for Gigabyte Marines, I imagine. And Varus, together with this team composition, has a very strong early game, good Nashor, and a good 20 to 25 minute mark. So I'm gonna give the draft in favor of Fnatic here. Bigger fan of Fnatic draft, pretty much. I'm just gonna pour myself some water as we see Gigabyte Marines running through their base and onto the rift. Okay, Dark Seal start on both Ryze and Kassadin. I'm not sure if we saw that before. I'm pretty sure we saw Doran's Ring on Ryze before. But I guess when you run TP, it's fine to get yourself a Corrupting Potion. The mana does very well on Ryze, right? So because he scales with both mana and AP, so it's not bad at all. I'm actually a fan of it. Yeah, I like it more, to be honest. We have the barrier heal bottom. Heal Ignite on Lulu. Heal Ignite on Lulu against Varus, Karma, Elise. Heal Ignite. This had to be a mistake, no? This had to be a mistake. Heal Ignite in 2017. I didn't even realize. Look. Elise is pathing into bottom. He's starting blue. No fake leash. They're just going in dry bottom, man. No fake leash. Maokai is just committing. Oh, what? It's a lane swap, dude. It's a lane swap. What the fuck? What's happening, man? They didn't freeze top wave. Gigabyte Marines did a heavy leash for Nocturne. Heavy leash. Soaz is already low. No HP left. Heavy leash. Archie and Levi are farming together. Nocturne is ahead on pace. You can see that Elise is just finishing her third camp, and Levi is already starting his fourth, and he's been clearing the bigger camps too. Elise is going to waste some time here on Raptor, but he's going to do red into bottom. Like, Fnatic bot lane is not going to do any damage to bot lane, and Galio is very good at clearing waves, right? Galio and Nocturne together, they can clear waves very easily. So the question is here, I want to see the wave position here on bottom. I want to see the wave position and see what's going on. It's a pretty big stacked wave. If Galio and Nocturne can secure this, Nocturne's already level 4. This is a fast jungle. 2 minutes and 40, and already he's level 4. There's no way that Gigabyte Marines can dive this. Kassadin can TP, maybe Maokai can TP, maybe something can be created here, but I sincerely doubt it. As long as Galio clears some waves here, Ryze is also coming in. Is it going to be a 5-man dive? It has to be, right? Maokai is level 1 though. He has Q, I think, skill up, no E even. There's a TP on the turret. Kassadin's coming in. Jessis is taking one more turret shot. Archie's low. Holy moly. Holy. The wave is dead, the wave is dead, the wave is dead. Stay at the turret, dude. Stay at the turret. Just as low. Top turret. TP from Gigabyte Marines. What is happening, man? Lulu and Tristana's hitting top tower. Is this the correct decision? I don't think so. Lulu should base. Lulu should base. Tristana should just farm it out top. Lulu doesn't need to be there. But this is definitely worth it. They're losing so much CS. It's crazy how much CS Fnatic is losing topside. It matters so much. And Gigabyte Marines, man, they're creating a situation that is completely crazy. I need to like reassess what is the best decision here. What is the best course of action? Like diving bottom seemed really unsafe. I feel like Gigabyte Marines could have even played it better by staying under the tower when all the minions died. Like when they ran away, there was very few creeps left. And right now, you know, the Spell Thief's Edge is doing work. Like Spell Thief's Edge is definitely going to be the better choice if you go in a lane swap situation, right? Because you're going to hit the tower with Spell Thief's Edge, and you can make sure that you make use of it. You can hit the tower consistently. You can use all those stacks. Sure, you could argue that Ancient Coin, you can get all those coins for free. But to be honest, you know, you're not gonna stay in lane as much as you usually do when you have a lane swap situation. But this was absolutely crazy. I thought in this situation right here, you know, all the minions are dying. If Gigabyte Marines just decided to stay under the turret here, nothing would have happened. But they could also, Fnatic could juggle aggro with Elise. If Elise does this properly right here, you know, if Elise juggles aggro properly, then it would be a tough situation. So you could argue that Gigabyte Marines is taking the right decision. I would actually say that they did, in fact, take the right decision. Yeah. Very well played from Gigabyte. They have a massive advantage already. Top tower is very, very low. It's very, very low, and Maokai is coming. What the hell? He's dead. What is happening, Soaz? My goodness, Broxy, you need to get the kill here. Okay, it's fine. But still, Maokai is level 1. He's level 2. He's 0 CS. And at the same time, Galio is just chilling out in bot lane. He's level 3. He's happy. He's satisfied. You know, Nocturne is also in a good state. He took all his jungle camps, and he's gonna reach level 6 soon. And Galio is very happy queuing the wave bottom. We have a slow pushing wave, and it's important now that Nocturne is in time for this. The main thing here is that, right? Oh, whoa. Already level 6 in 20 minutes. Holy moly. I thought, you know, I was saying, oh, he's level 5, he's in a good state. I had no idea he's going to be level 6 already. But to be honest, you know, he freaking, what's it called? He took so many waves bottom, so it's not that surprising that he's level 6 already. And wow. Karma just got one shot. Like, Karma had no flash from before. They had a situation where potentially, you know, Caps could roam into bottom, but the problem is that Maokai was dead and Elise is farming top, so they couldn't really pressure the big wave they were stacking. Like, the wave they were stacking, it would have been there no matter what. Maokai coming in now. No flash on Archie. He should be a dead man. Flash from Soaz into a kill, alright? Levi, he's not going for this, right? Levi, you crazy monster. What is happening? Holy moly. Stone cold. Gigabyte Marines. They get the first tower. Nocturne is 3-1. Soaz is 0 CS. Archie is level 4 against level 3. Kassadin is quite behind. Ryze is pretty fed. You know, this is the redeeming point for Fnatic. They have a fed Ryze. Maybe he can keep everyone in the game, but the fed Nocturne against no flash Ryze, he can just pressure into that quite easily. And Galio being behind is not that big of a deal. You know, he just wants to get in there, throw his ultimate, you know, which will be very easy for him with a Nocturne. Maokai, on the other hand, he wants to engage and he needs those items to be effective. And that is going to be a harsh situation for the Maokai. Caps with the no flash coming in hot. Archie just did a roam. Caps might even survive here. Oh, alright. I need to take a breather here. So the lane swap situation was like, well, let's find the optimal player. I want to take a step back and like let's invest some time into this. So this is where the dive happened. It had to happen, right? There's just no other way. It had to happen. Right now, should they be happy? But top lane is getting so screwed. It feels like they need to gain more here. Top lane is getting so screwed right now. Like they're losing so much CS here already. Like they're gonna lose like 3, maybe 4 waves here before someone catches up here. And it just feels like they have to get more. But how they do it? Is Broxa just being a sissy? Broxa misses Cocoon, so they wasted a lot of time. They also juggled the aggro really wrong. This has to be the issue, right? They juggled the aggro terribly wrong. The dive has to happen. There's no other way. There's no other play here. The dive has to happen. Caps is roaming in, right? There's no other thing to do than to commit to this. But I think Broxa just heavily misplays. He needs to be the one. Like, Reckless and Justice being forced to run away so early is a bad thing. It's sincerely a bad thing. So this is, you know, Broxa is not being the first one that takes the aggro. He's still full health. He missed the Cocoon. Justice once again took the turret aggro. That was like, whatever. TP comes in now from Gigabyte Marine and Caps is out of mana. I just feel like they could have dove better and then maybe they just had to reswap. But if they reswapped, then like if they, let's say they got the skill right and then they based and then they went top, then the priority from top they would have went into bottom and they would have just hit bottom tower and then they would have to base again and go bottom and then they would reswap and go top and then they would be ahead and they would take the first tower top. I am mind blown here. I can't imagine a different play. Like if you in standard lane swap meta, if you were in this situation and the enemy team defended with 2, you dove them. Problem here, Maokai level 1, so is Archie. Cocoon missed, which is a bad thing, and also the wrong person is tanking the turret first. Elise should be tanking first. If that happened, Karma would have been healthy. Elise could have just repelled and she would have been half health. They would have had a kill. Here, are they overdiving here? Because a mistake here is that some of them are hitting the tower and some of them are not. So they're tanking the turret for no reason. So they could have walked up, zoned these 2, and then kept hitting the turret. And then the next wave would come and then Galio wouldn't be able to TP. That should have been the play, right? Elise should have tanked the turret, and then when the last creeps were dying here, that Nocturne queued, they should have all walked up, zoned these 2 off the tower, and then Galio wouldn't be able to TP, and they would hit tower, and they would be on first tower, because the top tower has this survivability thing going on for it. Here they're just overdiving, right? They're overdiving, Galio gets to TP in, they should have grabbed the entire wave that managed to slip by here. So this wave here, like right here, the mistake here is that they are diving and then they need to be killing the wave at this point. They need to walk past. No, the mistake was just that the way they dove was just terribly executed. Jessus needed to flash here and the wave took the minions, their minions, so that it couldn't reach the turret, so they couldn't walk back to the turret. So right now, like, Galio is completely safe under the tower, and there's no creeps to help it out. Well, actually, the creeps eventually arrived, but he's safe, he's fine. No biggie. Yeah, Fnatic could have dove him better, and then they could have, like, zoned these people off the turret after they chased them off, right? I feel like Broxa could have played that better, and Jessus and Reckless didn't need to tank the turret as much. Very interesting situation. Crazy stuff. But usually, like back in old lane swap meta, when this happened, you had to die, right? There's no other play. Like you are losing so much top, you have to dive. If you don't dive, then you are so far behind that it's like FF situation in Scrim. So Soaz died top. 0 CS. Holy moly. Archie died bottom, but then we had the double kill from Levi. Crazy stuff. He still has flash. Like this is he's just stone cold here. Stone cold. 3-1. Rise is fed. He's the redeeming factor, and then we're back. He gets killed by the Kassadin flash. The Roman from Galio. Let's just start from here. So 2 people died. Galio was the one that died first, right? So he had priority into mid. Tristana and Lulu just took top tower, so they had priority into mid as well. Rise had to play it safe. Karma had to play through mid there. Like, Varus is catching a wave bottom, right? So Karma needs to go through mid to defend the Rise, which is something Justice never does. He always goes bottom and then mid when there are times where he needs to go mid, then bottom. And this was a case where he needed to be protected. Elise needed to be around there. Karma needed to be around there. Rise needed to play safe, make sure that he doesn't die to the dive. And then Varus will catch a wave. While he's catching a wave, you commit, like after he catches the wave, you take priority again. You take advantage again. But he didn't do this. Rise didn't play safe, and he got punished for it. And he didn't even have teammates to back him up. You know, he could have had Elise and Karma on the spot. You know, like Rise could have played safe and been on this tower, but he, in this situation where Karma and Elise aren't around, he would have he would have just been Doven. They would have lost mid tower, and it would have been a bad situation already. Archie's doing his best. I wonder what Archie's runes are. Is he just running like full flat, like completely prepared for this type of situation? I can imagine that that is something that he's running. Gigabyte Marines are grouping up against the Rise, but Rise is strong. Rise is strong. Lulu has no flash. Lulu has heal. She ignited. Levi flashes out. So as saplings away. Oh, this is a crazy situation. Levi should be dead. Oh, the sapling. Oh. So as just dabbed on him. So this is where it becomes strange for Gigabyte Marines. They are putting Kassadin on the side. Understandable. Tristana, Lulu, and mid. But they are like committing so hard here. Lulu has no flash. Like here, I think the play is not to hit mid tower. The play is to step into both side river here. Step into both side river, alleviate some pressure from bottom, and be happy with it. Like alleviate some pressure from bottom, take your bot side camps. Kassadin will have pressure from top. Someone will have to match him, and then, because like now in theory, if right now they are 4v5 on the map. Like, sure, Kassadin has TP, right? But he's not going to be able to impact this with his TP. He's not going to be able to impact bottom with TP either. Like, if Kassadin TPs on this turret, nothing happens. And if he TPs bottom, they still lose. So the main thing here is they need to wait for Kassadin pressure to kick in. And the way to do it is like you pressure with Kassadin, and he comes online after he kills this wave. After he kills this wave, he's actually pressured because someone needs to show up here. And when someone shows up here, then everything is good. But I think the play right here is they got the mid priority. They could spot Rise on the wave, and then they could just step into here, clear the blue side, make sure that Gali doesn't get doven. Then Kassadin will be able to group up and create pressure with what he's created up here. Soaz will have to show up here, and he's going to have TP, right? And then eventually Gigabyte Marines can put themselves in a situation where they match the enemy bot lane, which I think is going to be better for them, because at this point I think they are way stronger. They have the flash, the heal ignite, and the BF sword on Tristana, and they've reached good breaking points here. So I think if they played it like I'm suggesting, it would have been a better situation. Just wait for the Kassadin pressure to come online, and then just pressure into here while this is happening. Maokai would have to match top, and eventually this would be good. The other way to play it, right, is to just ignore bottom and then play into top and then play for this tower. But I think that's a bad decision because you're going to lose all these camps and they're hitting an outer tower. So I'm not too big of a fan of that play. Levi now walks into the sapling. Holy moly. This was definitely a great equalizer for Fnatic. They're killing the turret when the wave is dead, so they can bounce the wave and then base and be happy. It's going to slow push and they're not going to lose any CS. Soaz is catching up with the 21 CS. He got some kills, very big for him. Archie is now slightly behind. These kind of influxes of XP and gold are so important. So important. Rise was 3-0, but now 4-2. No flash on Lulu. Doesn't seem to matter. Maokai and Rise seems like they are just laning together. I think Soaz is just taking the opportunities when he's pushing in the top wave to go into mid and create something, which I like. He can't go too far against the Kassadin because Kassadin is going to just chase him down, I believe, at this point in the game. Maybe he doesn't even have enough mana to kill him, like he has a no magic mantle, right? That was a TP from Kassadin. Maokai is also TPing in on the Spiderling. Archie's dead. What the hell? Caps. What was that? Bottom tower died from before. Mid tower is going to be traded off. Seems like Fnatic can't get anything else on bottom. Did Fnatic overcommit on this situation? Bottom tower is gone. TP is coming in. They lose a bunch of CS up top as well during the situation. So getting this kill on Archie, I don't feel like it's worth it. You know, they lose the mid tower. They could have potentially protected it with the Rise TP. But look at this top wave they're just losing right now. Just losing this top wave for this kill on a 0-3 Galio. You know, they lose so much CS here. And they also lose the mid tower for it. So this was an overforce, I feel, from Fnatic. TP comes in and right now they could have, like, Rise is already here, so they're committing, I guess. Rise roam to the situation. TP comes in and I just feel like this was unnecessary. I don't feel like this was something to be happy about. I'm just trying to figure out what other player Fnatic should have done instead. Like they are the ones that should be catching the waves right now. Top wave is in bad situation for Soaz to fight, and they shouldn't force so heavy as they are doing right now. They should just be like killing the upcoming wave, or even now, you know, instead of walking straight bottom, they could have just walked through mid, get priority. Maokai could have been here, and then through mid into bottom. I think that's something that Fnatic are severely lacking sometimes. Let's take a look now. So Varus goes bottom. Okay, it's all good. Looking at the situation, they have pressure through river, which is all fine. Varus is also in position, and right now they could have just stepped back and they could have also pressured the next mid wave, and it would have been all fine. I feel like this is just an overcommitment. Overcommitment from Fnatic. They get the Cloud Drake though. They lost so much CS. I can't believe how much CS they lost. They lost so much gold. I feel like I need that stat, you know? CS not taken. That would be a great statistic, you know? How many CS died in the game without no one taking them, you know? And that would be a great indicator for so many things. You know, if you could see this team takes only 70% of the CS, and let's say SKT take 80%, then you could see like, oh, these guys are playing very ineffective League of Legends, you know? I think this would be a beautiful statistic. I wish we could have that. Let's fast forward. At this point in time, you know, Rise is still the vocal point of strength. I'm kind of worried about this Varus Karma because they are weaker than... when you are playing Varus Karma and you're weaker than Tristana Lulu at any point in the game, then the game will be hard. That's just a fact. It's just how it is. You know, you're the early game lane and you got completely bamboozled by the lane swap situation. Lulu with no flash is a worrying trend though. I don't see why he's so hyped about the ignite here. He hasn't really used the ignite for anything useful and potentially could have survived a lot of the situations he died in with his flash. So let's see. Kassadin being in mid is not a place where he wants to be. They want to put Kassadin on side. Right now I felt like potentially Fnatic could have committed harder, but at the same time, you know, Maokai has no TP and Galio's hiding in fog, Nocturne is as well, and Gigabyte Marine bot lane is walking through river. So we are seeing something that they don't see, which is important to remember sometimes. You know, I'm used to having like the spectate function to be able to look at both visions, but in this case we can't, sadly. The main issue now for Fnatic, what I'm trying to figure out, is like, who do they put against Gigabyte Marine's bot lane? There's really no one to put. There's no one that is going to win against Gigabyte Marine's bot lane. The team the person that's going to be there is going to lose their turret. If it's the bot lane, they're going to lose their turret, and that is just a truth. I think that Fnatic's bot lane is the bot lane that is going to survive the longest. So maybe that is the play that you have to go for, is that you send your AD and your support into the Tristana and the Lulu, and you hope that Ryze will outpressure the Kassadin, which he should, right? He should be able to outpressure the Kassadin. But then at the same time, you know, Galio will have priority against Maokai, I believe, and Nocturne can always ult in, and in 2v2, Nocturne and Kassadin are going to win, I believe. And that makes a massive problem. That makes a massive problem. Like, Tristana super far ahead, Kassadin is in healthy state, and Nocturne is really fed. Swaz dies here, obviously he shouldn't die, but I'm just trying to figure out what is the lane assignment of a Fnatic here for them to be successful. It's just very difficult to place Varus and Karma anywhere when they are not going to be useful in this game. The way for them to play is to try to catch someone in mid, try to punish the Kassadin, and that is where the Galio ult and Nocturne ult comes in. They kind of have this kind of presence about how they play. They are now sending Varus and Karma onto the side lane. Question is now if Gigabyte Marines are just going to continue. Broxah is very low. Optimus is doing some crazy shenanigans. Oh, this was too deep, bro. Oh. That actually sucks, man. Holy. What is happening, man? So Gigabyte Marines, you committed to the play pushing bottom. Your bot lane is not coming. There's no reason to commit here. There's no reason to do anything. Mistake from Gigabyte Marines. They didn't need to do anything. And I think Fnatic are doing the right thing. You know, what is the play you do when the enemy team is too strong? You try to divide the map and you try to kind of play on the other side of the map and try to equalize the things that they get until you reach a point where you feel confident enough to teamfight. Which is also like a play. So Fnatic are definitely doing what they can here. But Gigabyte Marines committing this hard, I don't know about this one, you know. Giving away 2 kills is definitely not necessary. Ryze pushing mid. Question is now if Fnatic can get top turret as well, and then it will be Rift Herald and top turret for 2 towers, which should be like an okay trade considering the position they're in. But I'm not too sure if they have time to take this tower. Like, there's some TPs and Kassadin. They're basing right now Gigabyte Marines bot lane, so there's a lot of time. Ryze is also priority in mid lane, so it's not a big deal. I think they can get top tower. Oh, not even. I thought they would be able to. I'm not too sure about the health. You know, of course, if whoa, Levi, you're so strong, man. You don't even need to flash, but you do anyway. So they didn't get top tower, obviously, like if you commit on the top tower and if you commit on the top tower and you get it and you get away with a sliver of health, the enemy team is going to have a massive tempo swing on you. So this is basing here is the tempo play. I'm not too sure even how the HP health is. Maybe they couldn't have maybe they couldn't get it at all. You know, that could be a truth as well. The main thing is that you have to realize is sometimes when you commit to hit the tower, you are sacrificing tempo to do it. The enemy team can move there, or they could be doing something else. They could be basing, they could be moving, you know. But in the end, sometimes you have to sacrifice tempo to hit turrets. Alright, so this game is starting to become a bit crazy. We have Maokai dying earlier at the bottom tower. What happened to our dear friend Caps here? Oh, so Caps has no business being here. This was right after Maokai died in bot lane and Tristana and Lulu got a lot of turrets, so he has no reason to check here. He has no business being here. His entire team is basing. He needs to just play it safe. He could even base during this time because he cannot pressure. He's basically like 1v5 on the map right now because his entire team is basing. He knows about it. He has no reason to face check anything. Definitely a mistake from Caps. Levi gets another kill. He's starting to become big. He's going to one-shot that Varus. He does have barrier though, so that helps. Levi is so fed, man. Holy moly. He doesn't give a crap about catch-up experience. But yeah, that's an int. Let's take a step back. His team hit the turret, and now they're backing off. They're backing off. Maybe they shouldn't be backing off. Maybe this is a mistake. Maybe they should be standing here and denying Fnatic from taking this path into this. Maybe his team right here should be right here and blocking off, you know, playing college football right here. Blocking off Jesses and Reckless from stepping in here, which they obviously could. There's no reason they couldn't. And then in the case where Maokai tries to commit here, they just walk up here. And then Maokai can't really follow them and they can transition their pressure into Galio top lane here. Galio doesn't have ult, right? So you need to group up with them. So keeping yourself at an angle where you group up and where Lulu, Tristana, Cassidy stand here, Fnatic is not going to be able to go through here, so Levi would be safe. So this is like, sure, a mistake doesn't justify a mistake, but in the end, Gigabyte Marines could have stood here and protected Nocturne while he did this, and then they could have transitioned the pressure into here, and they would cut off Fnatic from moving into top, and then they would have gotten a nice chunk on the top tower, maybe potentially even get it. Optimus is laning against the Maokai, which is very happy. He's very happy to do that, right? Maokai doesn't have enough damage to kill a Kassadin, but I think the same can be said the other way around. Rift Herald being used in mid lane, this is the price they pay for Nocturne being dead. Galio did group up with his team though, and Kassadin still doing work at bottom. There was just no way for them to defend the tower after Nocturne died, right? And especially if they have Rift Herald to use it. Like, the only way you defend that is that you commit, you engage. There's no Galio ultimate, and Kassadin still working away at the bottom turret. I think being patient with their composition is very, very fine and not a problem at all. You can do that with no issues. Alright, everyone stood behind the Galio. Galio sacrificed himself to get the turret. Whoa, Maokai got one-shotted. Like, Maokai has only Ninja Tabai. A lot of armor penetration. On Nocturne is a lot of burst with the Duskblade or Jackdaw. Top lane tower is very low from the previous push that we talked about. It died to the creeps. Holy moly, right now Gigabyte Marines just committing to bot lane, forcing a response from Fanatics. Always good to do this, right? If the enemy team are trying to make a play, you just do a counter play that forces them to move. We have the Rise TP, Repel, Red buff is not going to be enough. Varus ult is on cooldown, used on Galio from before when he got caught and died. Both tanks died. Trade up in favor of Fnatic, I guess, because they got to top tower, but that was really irrelevant to the situation, right? It didn't really have anything to do with the play, and summoner-wise, nothing was hugely burnt. It was just a Rise teleport. So Rise starts to TP here, and you could argue that that's an important cooldown, right? eventually Rise is going to be the one pushing top side all the time, and they can just play into Rise and keep Maokai bottom, so it's not going to be that big of a deal, because I believe that Rise should be fine against both Galio and Kassadin at this point in the game. So he could get priority, and his team could play through mid, and they could just play into him, so his lack of TP is not that big of an issue. But then again, you know, Fnatic aren't a team that are going to have mid lane priority, so it could be the case that it might be a problem. Rise no TP, and 1 for 1. Kassadin still has his, still goes bottom, just farming it away. Both tanks with 20 CS just get one-shotted, you know. What a time to be alive, you know. Tanks getting one-shotted in 2017, man. I hate it when replays are like, slow zoom transition and now we're in action. Well, they are completely safe to face check this. They see that 2 people are topside, they're outnumbering them by far. Galio pushed in the wave, they have priority advantage. Galio was pushing up top. Karma and Varus are showing up top. It means that therefore it's like 3v5 on this side of the map. They can take away everything. A lot of nice pink wards around for Gigabyte Marines in mid lane. It's very hard for Fnatic to get mid lane priority at this point, you know, because of this Lulu Tristana just too strong. Like, how do you deal with Lulu Tristana? They have to they have to chain CC them and then one-shot them and just hope that everything lands. And even then it's hard, you know, they don't have like this massive burst. And Gigabyte Marines have a good front line to react to these kind of heavy commitments. They don't have some super burst. They have CC for sure. But then there's like the Lulu ultimate, the heal will come out, and then the disengage, like with the Galio ultimate. There's a lot of tools to help the Tristana. There's the barrier as well. You know, you have to kind of hope the Fnatic one-shot the Tristana. And is that going to happen? I have sincere doubts. So right now, you know, this Lulu Tristana is just a problem the Fnatic want to avoid at all costs. And the Kassadin, you know, he's been farming away for a very long time. Hourglass with the TP, looking good. Looking sharp, looking golden. This is a way to handle it. So Gigabyte Marines committed on trying to kill the Rise. Didn't work out, didn't pan out. Hourglass choice is good against Nocturne, right? Gigabyte Marines, will they get caught here? There's a flash from Tristana. Lulu might just be dead. Kassadin's also here. There's no Nocturne ultimate. He's in mid lane. He's a bit far behind. But the first kill comes in from Tristana. She has a red buff. It's very, very hard to get away from a Kassadin. No. This game is over, man. This game is over. This game is over. There's no way they deal with the Tristana. Holy moly. Gigabyte Marines with the genius lane swap. Not genius, you know. It's genius in the way that, you know, I think they were the team that pulled this off at MSI as well. It's genius in the sense that, you know, a team is going to get heavily thrown off. You know, if you haven't played against this crap, if you haven't played against this crap at all, and it just gets thrown in your face, and you need to execute the dive perfectly, or the game is just so hard for you, then the game is going to be really difficult. You know, Tristana farmed away, slaved away. Varus got killed a couple of times. You know, Karma got killed as well, and there's this massive advantage, you know. Let's say I'm trying to find a good kind of metaphor for this, but in a situation where on paper you have an advantage, right? You have an advantage because we are the ones swapping, so on paper you have an advantage. But if I just know more about this and I've done this more times than you, then I also have an advantage, right? And that's what I get a feel. This is the feeling I'm getting from Gigabyte Marines. They've done this multiple times. They've done this in the past, and they are just the more experienced teams, right? They figured out the perfect clear for Nocturne, how he does it fast, and what champions this works with, and Lulu with her spell to its edge. You know, they've prepared this and planned this. There's a big advantage to that because this is not the standard macro meta game, and it isn't for a good reason, right? It's just it's punishable, and if you are in the situation where you are defending your bottom lane tower and Kassadin TPs in, right? This would have been a good situation for Fnatic if they executed properly. I still stand by that point. They could have executed that better. They could have dove in the Galio better. They could have been healthier, and they could have zoned the other two off the turret and then just hit the turret together, and it would have been a better situation. I stand by that. We have a replay of this situation. Once again, I can't find a way for Fnatic to deal with Tristana. This is actually happening. Like, are Fnatic gonna get last in the group? Fnatic will go 0-6 at Worlds. I still remember when I said that I was C9. You know, they didn't get out of groups, so partially I was right. I think my words fueled them though to get 3 wins, which was a-okay. Alright, Tristana is doing fun things. Nocturne had no ultimate in that engagement. They just won that fight without him, right? So Ryze was pretty low himself as well, so you could say that Ryze was in the same boat as Nocturne. Okay, Nocturne is very, very fat. We move on. It's going to be a Nash dance. I feel like Fnatic need like a Nasher steal to pull this off. They still, like, it's very hard for them to one-shot at Tristana. Like, she's so long range and she needs to fuck up really, really hard for it to work. They're just starting Nash. They don't care anymore. Nocturne has ultimate and they can just one-shot any target that they want. Right now, Elise was nowhere to be found. She wasn't close. Roxa was too scared. Caps is TPing out. He still is in the fight, but he's too low to do anything, and Soaz has too little money to be useful. Same thing can be said for Archie, but he has this good ultimate that can still be used for a lot of great things. Bottom wave is massive. Gigabyte Marines could probably end the game here if they want. They could just do a half chase, half do something, you know. The Varus ultimate is on cooldown, but the root comes in. What is the Galio trying to do here? Galio's gonna try to cancel some recalls. Ryze is TPing in. No way. 23. Is he gonna end the game or? No, he can't. Elise is out. Galio died though, so it wasn't too bad of a situation for Fnatic. You know, better than I expected. Oh, this is wild, man. This is wild. Speaking of wild growth, no problem. Nah, he's so fat, it doesn't matter. He can just end the game. Holy shit. No way. It's always fun to see like these players that you don't know much about and they just pop off, you know, and do crazy things. Holy moly, look at this guy, man. Holy moly, so good. Crazy. This is auto spacing, man. Auto spacing. Crazy game, man. This was a lot of fun. They got stormed, man. Fnatic got smashed. They got absolutely demolished. Absolutely smashed. Holy moly, what a crazy game. You know, thinking back at it, you know, once again, you know, Fnatic could have executed that bottom play better. They could have executed 100% better. And then I'm trying to remember what else happened, but this is the only thing that sticks in my mind, you know. I feel like there's a lot of times that we pointed out that Jessus should have went through mid and Fnatic should have went through mid to secure priority and make sure that the enemy team doesn't create too many problems. Caps died when he didn't need to, and I feel like Gigabyte Marines were very impressive across the board. We had that one time where Levi died, and we had some times where Archie died when he didn't need to die, but in general, like, they were very cohesive together and they were very determined to win after Tristana was so far ahead. So this was a very fun game, very energetic. Still the same issues are visible in Fnatic. I think Fnatic are looking like the 4th place team in the group right now, so hopefully Fnatic can shape up, and maybe they are the ones that are going to lane swap next time. It would be interesting to see. Who knows? Now, this is the crazy thing about Gigabyte Marines. You know, every time you play against them, you're going to think to yourself, like, what is going to happen, man? Are we legit we just need to think about the lane swap, you know? Are we going to have to deep ward, like go invade level 1 to make sure that we play some deep wards to make sure that we see if they pass the lanes, and crazy shenanigans like this, I don't know if it will go that far. I think most teams will just view this and say that Fnatic could have executed the bottom dive better. And hopefully from there, like if you think about this possibility that this might happen, maybe people will come in with a more prepared mind. But incredible. I think this is Gigabyte Marine's well-deserved win. All right, that settles it. Thank you very much. I'll see you guys in the next game. Thank you.